Well, it is a lovely good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of the QTV Breakfast Show. Of course, it is a very beautiful Friday, and you know what that means? We are closing off the week on a bang. Of course, we have had some great time from Monday up to where we are today. The week, seemed to be very short because of the fact that there was a holiday. Every time there's a holiday in between the week, then definitely you expect that the week is going to be short and not look as complete as it should be. But, anyways, we do have quite a number of jam packed things that we're going to be talking about today on our QTV Breakfast Show. Obviously, one of the people that we'll be having this morning is Max Moe, who is going to be updating us on the current state of affairs. And also, we're going to be having our health tips coming soon. And just yesterday I was talking about the importance of knowing the signs and symptoms of a liver problem, which has been, I have heard, obviously, that is one of the most common illnesses that people are being found with when they go to the hospital. But obviously, it is a jam packed show, and do not forget to visit our Facebook page, that is QTV Zambia, and of course, leave your comments and your contributions in the comment section as we will be streaming live. Let's have a look at some of the stories making headlines around the continent this morning in our Africa in Perspective. We start with Nigeria, and Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has ordered security forces not to pay ransom for the release of close to 300 students and staff who were kidnapped from a school in northwestern of Kaduna State last week. Mr. Tinubu instead directed security agencies to ensure the release of all kidnapped victims without any payment to the kidnappers. The country's information minister, Mohammed Idris, told reporters on Wednesday. Mr. Idris said the president had told forces searching for pupils to make sure not a dime is paid. Earlier, relatives of those taken said gunmen had demanded hundreds of thousands of dollars for the release of the students abducted from their school in Kuriga village. There have been several mass kidnappings over the last week, including the seizure on Tuesday night of more than 60 people from a village also in Kaduna State. Over the last 3 years, hundreds of students have been abducted and some of the hostages have been released following negotiations with the authorities. Although officials deny ransom payments are made, a law passed in 2022 banned paying ransom to kidnappers. The surge of large-scale abductions is challenging Mr. Tinubu's government, which had promised to tackle insecurity. Authorities in Uganda's capital of Kampala say the city is experiencing an outbreak of conjunctivitis, a highly contagious eye infection. The Kampala Capital City Authority (KCCA) says conjunctivitis cases have also been reported in schools in the city. It has asked schools to take preventative measures such as screening visitors, asking learners to stop rubbing their eyes, and urging them to frequently wash their hands with soap. Conjunctivitis often causes the eyes to become red or pink. Other common symptoms include watery eyes, blurred vision, discomfort, itching, pain, and swelling of the conjunctiva eye lining. And Uganda is the latest African country to record cases of this disease this year. An outbreak of viral conjunctivitis was reported in Tanzania in mid-January, and over 5,000 cases have been recorded across more than 17 regions. Kenya, Malawi, Mozambique, Comoros, Madagascar, and Mayotte have also recorded cases, while Rwanda issued an alert last month. With good hygiene, avoiding contact with infected people, the infection tends to heal on its own. Nigeria's President Tinubu has lifted all economic sanctions imposed on neighboring Niger 8 months after a military coup there. He ordered the immediate opening of borders, the resumption of commercial flights, and the supply of electricity to Niger. Exports, including livestock and onions from Niger to Nigeria, have dwindled significantly. Import-dependent Niger has suffered the lack of essential commodities, with with border communities being the worst hit by the sanctions. Last month, the West African regional body ECOWAS agreed to lift economic sanctions against Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea, which have all seen military takeovers in the last 2 years. Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso had earlier announced they would withdraw from ECOWAS after the sanctions were imposed. But Niger's ousted president, Mohamed Bazoum, has been detained by the military leaders in Niger last July's coup. South Africa has terminated a deal to sell a stake in its national airline after failing to agree on a value and other terms with consortium of private investors. The government had since 2021 planned to sell 51% of the loss-making South African Airways to the Takatso I beg your pardon, to the Takatso Consortium as part of efforts to end recurring bailouts of the flag carrier. And after 3 years of negotiations, Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan on Wednesday said the deal had been called off as there is no clear path forward. Mr. Gordhan cited the impact of the post-COVID-19 market as significant factor in the decision, leading to a revolution of SAA's worth. And in a statement, the Takatso Consortium said the changes in the deal to buy SAA would have taken too long to achieve. SAA will now revert to being fully state-owned, but the government said the airline was open to entering into other partnerships. The collapse of the deal is a blow to President Cyril Ramaphosa's efforts to sell off non-performing state entities and bring state debt under control. Several countries have agreed to cancel more than $2 billion of debt owed to them by Somalia, and the Paris Club, which includes the US, Japan, and Russia, wrote off almost all the money it owed after Somalia reached the end of the debt forgiveness initiative overseen by the International Monetary Fund and World Bank. And Somalia has, in turn, committed to prioritize poverty reduction by investing in health, education, and basic infrastructure. Somalia's conclusion of International Monetary Fund and World Bank enhanced heavily indebted poor countries debt forgiveness initiative last December made the countries eligible for 4.5 billion US dollars worth of debt forgiveness. Achieving the full 4.5 billion US dollars debt relief will slash the country's external debt from 64% of its GDP in 2018 to just 6%. Somalia had been exiled from the global financial system for more than 3 decades following years of civil war and military threats. Police in Zimbabwe say they have arrested the suspected leader of a religious cult in a village in the northern of Mashonaland, West Province, and rescued dozens of women and children. And Ishmael Chogurongwera, aged 56, who leads the Gorejena section, was arrested alongside 7 other senior members of the cult on Tuesday. Police spokesperson Paul Nyati said in a statement. Police said most of the 251 children found at the man's farm in Nyavira, about 34 kilometers northwest of the capital of Harare, had no birth certificates and were not allowed to attend school. Police also discovered a gravesite at the farm where 16 people have been secretly interred, including 7 infants whose burials were not registered with authorities. The rescued children were being used to perform various physical activities for the benefit of the sect's leadership, the police said in a statement. And the said man, who calls himself a Prophet Ishmael, told local reporters that he was not aware of women and children's rights. One of the cult members told reporters that formal education in schools was not wanted by God because what children are taught there is against God's teachings. Kenya's President William Ruto has said that a planned deployment of police officers to Haiti will go ahead as soon as Caribbean country puts in place a transitional presidential council. Authorities in Kenya earlier this week said the planned deployment was on hold following the announcement that Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry would be stepping down. Mr. Ruto and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Tuesday discussed the expeditious deployment of the officers, including immediate next steps to facilitate deployment, U.S. Department of State spokesperson Matthew Miller said on Wednesday. He also added that Mr. Blinken had informed him that the council will be formed shortly. However, Haitian media report that creation of the council could take time as it is facing opposition from some political parties. The council will be tasked with appointing an interim prime minister and council of ministers to lead Haiti until the country holds elections. The new administration would also work with Kenyan-led International Police Force to combat gang violence. And those are some of the stories that are making headlines around the continent in our Africa in Perspective this morning. In case you're just joining us, I'm your host, Rhoda Mlenga, and I'll be back on the other side just after the break. Good morning. All right, welcome back to the QTV Breakfast Show. Of course, this is a program where you can also get to interact with us through our Facebook page, that is QTV Zambia. So let us have a conversation this morning on, of course, the different things that we'll be talking about as we go on with the morning. And of course, probably there's a lot to talk about this morning and a lot of things that have been going on. But obviously, I do have Papa G with me in the studio this morning just to highlight a few things on bringing up a child, as parents, especially as Christians. How exactly do you bring up a child, especially in modern society where there's so many things that have distracted, children as young as 10 years old have cell phones, they have access to the internet, they have access to different types of information that can both be harmful and not harmful. But also, how do you come in as a parent? And, obviously, way back, or even these days, we used to have this saying that, it's not only the responsibility of a parent to bring up a child, but the whole community as well, right? Yeah. And so, obviously, there are certain things that the Bible says about how to bring up a child. But we'll just hear it from Papa G this morning. Good morning. Welcome to our breakfast show today.
Good morning. Thank you.
Now, obviously, just recently, there was a story of 5 boys from Matero that were gunned down by the C5. They were known for, being notorious and things like that. But maybe just a comment on that particular issue before we go into the topic of discussion for today.
Okay. It was a very sad thing. I know that no parent would want to lose their children in such a way. Every parent, they hope for the best for their children, to see them grow old, even to hold their grandchildren from their children. So it was such a bad moment, and a lot of people, including me, I did not feel good. Now, if it was my brother, my young brother, and you just lose him in such a in such a situation. It was so bad, and I would also encourage the family of the deceased to take heart, and we are praying for you. May God comfort you, and may the Lord strengthen you. We are praying for you. So I think we should, other parents should learn from what happened. We should learn from that, and it is our duty to pray for our children, because your prayer will always protect them. Your prayer will always put them in the right path for them, so that they can know what to do and not what to do. So I am praying for them, and I'm praying for everybody. It was such a bad tragedy that happened, but to the glory of God, we believe by the grace of God that God will comfort you, everyone that related to those that were gunned down. Yes.
Now, let's talk about, the role of parents in bringing up their children. What role should parents play so that children do not go astray?
Okay, so the Bible says in the book of Proverbs 22, verse 6, the Bible says, "Train up a child in the way of the Lord, so that when he grow old, he should not turn away from it." So I think the foundation of a child, children, they learn from their parents, and God has given us to train them. So when you are training them, you expect something from them. When a child from birth, you understand that they learn our language through our guidance. They learn how to speak through our guidance. So when you are guiding the child on how to do certain things, but in our today's era, you find that there are a lot of things that are happening. You find that a lot of parents today, they will leave the duty, they will leave the training for the maid. They will leave the training for other people to train them. They will be covering for their children. In terms of like training, sometimes we just have to be tough for them to learn something from it. Because we have seen a lot of parents today, they'll watch their child insulting and they will not do anything about it. So God has left the responsibility of teaching a child in the way that he should grow, in the way that he should behave. There are certain things that when you see something that is not okay, you must do something as a parent. So whatever happens to your children, God is going to hold you accountable. Why? Because he said, train your children. He left that responsibility for you, not for your neighbor, not for your mother, not for your auntie, not for your uncle, not for your grandmother, but you as a mother. God has given you the wisdom to train a child in the way that he should grow. If you do not train them, they will go astray. So a mother is like a coach, coaching a child on how the things that a child must do, the things that a child should not do. So those are the most important thing as a child is growing up. You find that a lot of children today, they are copying from other families the way they live. They are doing certain things. You don't watch over them the kind of friend they associate with. You don't watch them even to the kind of certain things that are exposed. And according to the story that we are talking about of the youth that were gunned down, you find they have found a lot of drugs. There were drugs inside that car. They were taking drugs. So you see, as a parent, I know that you cannot be there what they are doing, but the important thing that you can do, you need to check them. What kind of friends are they found with? Because it is something that God has assigned us to do. So if I fail to train a child, it means that what that child becomes, it is my fault. Don't leave your maid. Don't leave your teacher to say, okay, I'm taking my child to school, then the teacher is going to do the rest. No. It is very important to train a child in the way that you want that child to be. And the most especially, the Bible has indicated, train the child in the way of the Lord. In the way of the Lord. What is the way of the Lord? The way of the Lord, it is by teaching a child using scriptures. It's by guiding the child to go to church. It is by guiding the child to fear the Lord. It's by guiding the child to tell the child that sin is bad. There are certain things, sometimes you have to be tough. I remember when I was growing up in my father's house. My father told me, each time we refuse to go to church, we are not going to eat for that day. We will not eat and we will not be given the things that only those that are going to church, they are the ones that are going to be given. My father would become very tough to us. Why? Because we must learn. I hated my father for doing that, but now today I appreciate him because I thought that he hated me for doing such a thing. There's an extent of your, as you are training your child, you feel like your child will think that you hate the child, but you are shaping the life of the child in a very good way. So you find by so doing, when a child grows up in such a manner, they will learn to love the Lord. They will learn to fear the Lord in Jesus' name. So in our today's parenting is different to the old one. Why? Because everything it has been computerized. Everything is about it's not the way it used to be in the past. Our culture used to teach us so many ways. When you see an elderly man, you must kneel down. But the children of nowadays, don't have respect for the elders. And when you receive that information and when you see, you find that a youth is insulting an old man, which is so bad, which is so disheartening when you see such kind of a thing. So as a parent, and I remember that if you disrespect an elder man in the presence of our parent, you are going to be in trouble. That was a kind of lecturing. We are forgetting our culture little by little. But our culture is telling us to say, when you are giving an elderly man water, you must kneel down. You are offering food, you must kneel down. You must not talk back whenever an elderly man is talking to you. But in today's life, you find that they will talk anyhow. They will use any kind of language. They will insult because they do not fear anything. This is what is affecting our generation. There is more that our parents that you are not doing. We need to teach them. Tell them the bad of disrespecting the elderly people. Tell them the good part of respecting them. You need to teach them how to live a good life. Remember, the Bible is very clear. In the book of Ephesians, the Bible says that children, obey your parents in the Lord. Obedience is in the Lord. Should be in the Lord, not outside the Lord. And I'm sure I talked about it, that it is your time, it is your duty as a parent to educate them. I'll give an example. When you born a child, and you give that child to your sister who lives in Congo, and they don't speak your language, Nyanja. They don't speak your language, Otonga. They don't speak your language. When that child goes to Congo, do you expect your child to learn Nyanja? Do you expect your child to speak Bemba? The answer is no. Why? Because of different kind of environment. You can be a good parent. You can have respect. You can live a good life, and you can respect God. You can love God. But if you are not training your child, your language, the language of respect, the language to love God, you are missing it as a parent. A child will be speaking different language from you. Why? Because you do not teach that child. A child learns a foreign language that you don't know. You are going to find it difficult for you to communicate with the child. Why? Because of different of languages, different environment, different countries. So this is what is happening. The reason why you are failing to control a child now, it is because the child cannot hear you. The child knows another language and you are speaking another language. So better when the child is too young, you must teach them to follow, to respect. You must teach them to love the Lord. You must teach them to follow what the Bible is saying. So the Bible is very clear. And the Bible says, I like that quote that says, the same Ephesians 6, this one. The Bible says, so that you might live long. You might live long. So for you to live long, you must respect your parents. For you to live long, so you must know if your child is respecting you, I am telling you, there is a subtraction to the life of your child. There is a subtraction to the life of that child. You must know this because the Bible is very clear. So for you to, this is the medicine for longevity in life. This is the only medicine. I am telling you, this is the medicine. Read your Bible, find time and read it carefully in Jesus' name. Yes.
All right. So what do you think are some of the common mistakes that parents make in this generation? And I think in this generation, there are a lot of young parents, if you've noticed.
Very true. Yes. So I think what I can say is that the mistake that parents are making nowadays, it is number one, don't leave your child. You don't have time for your children. Fathers, create time for your children. When you create time for your children, I am telling you, it is going to be very easy. Learn, take them out. I know there are parents that are very, very busy working. But sometimes you need to take a vacation. Sometimes you need to take them for a vacation. You have a free time. When it is time for your leave, I am telling you, you need to find time. Relate with your children. Teach them. Tell them, you must do this, you must do that, you must do this. You know, those old days, I still, the teachings in our house. Nowadays, there are parents who leave the child to dress anyhow. You dress a miniskirt, you dress anything, you not even mind as a child. And another mistake that they are making today, it is not observing what they are doing when they go out. You need to find out what kind of friends are they found with. And receiving gifts, you don't know where they are coming from. It is a big mistake. And I'm telling you, of all those people, all those young ones, I'm telling you, they should have asked, where are you getting the money? You're not working. Where are you getting the money? No, if they say they are working and they are bringing you gift as a parent, you need to investigate where that gift is coming from. Don't enjoy the gifts that you don't know where they are coming from. A lot of parents today, they are receiving gifts while their children, they have killed other people. I am telling you, it is destroying your family. That money is cursed money that is coming into your hands. That is going to bring a lot of problems in your life. The Bible said that a man shall reap what he sows. Whatever you are doing with your life now, I am telling you, one day you are going to reap it. You may sound to be clever. You may think you are clever, but you can never be clever than God. You can never be wiser than God. The scriptures cannot be broken. They cannot be replaced. So we must know, as parents, there's a need for us to do. Don't receive gifts. I know we are happy we receive gifts. Say, where is it coming from? And I know each time I buy something that I cannot afford, my parent will tell me, where did you get it? Tell me who gave you the money. They will take me to the person. If that thing that I got, why were you given this thing? And if that person will not explain, my father will get that phone and give it to one. Whatever, any kind of gift, you give it to that person to say, it doesn't deserve it. So you see that kind of thing. You don't give your children too much freedom that you are seated comfortably without knowing what they are doing at their free time. You need to inspect them. You need to know what they are doing. You need to become very tough on them. Once a child fails in your hand, you don't control them. Use your hand to control them. The Bible says, get a little whip. Whip them so that they know that this thing is bad, this thing is good. When you do so, open their eyes, tell them why you are doing that. Give them a reason. Sometimes the children, they become so stubborn. But you must become very stubborn because you love them. You don't want to lose them in a very bad way. So as a parent, investigate where that gift is coming from. Investigate that money is coming. You must know their salary. You must know where they are working. Know their location where they are getting those monies. You must know all those things. Because what is going to happen today, a lot of youths that are being jailed that we have never read on the news. Why? Because their children, they were doing things that you never knew as their parent. Some of you, they bring the news to you to say your child did this, and a parent, you defend the child to say, no, my child cannot do that. Are you there where your child was? Are you able to monitor every movement of your child? And people are telling you to say your child is doing this, you need to control. And you refuse to take that warning and control your child. So it is a very important thing for you to do. To make sure that a child grows in the way of the Lord, so that when he grows old, now you need to understand that scripture. When he grows old, that he might not turn away from it. So it means that whatever you put in the mind, in the life of the child, it does not come out automatically. It doesn't come out. The Bible says when he grows older, at any age, you'll be able to remember everything. Will become to do what? To become to work. And I remember everything that my parent taught me, it is still in here. Every good thing that they taught me, it is still inside of me. Why? Because they invested. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. But I'm saying that you can do a little thing to avoid this kind of thing. A child, you must not allow your child is sleeping out. You must not allow a child goes out and start drinking beer. You must not allow a child doing such kind of thing that you do not like, because there are consequences. Protect them. Don't give them too much freedom. Protect them. You must learn a lesson for what happened, so that we protect our children from this kind of thing happening. Amen.
All right. Now, moving further, obviously there are certain things that parents also need to do to encourage their children to, just be involved in church activities. But how does a parent do that?
I think the parents...
Because there are children that are just, naturally stubborn.
Yes. Teaching a child is not easy. It's not easy at all. You reach an extent to say, I think I am very wicked. I am telling you, if it means for you to be wicked, you need to be wicked. For them to be in the right, like if you have mentioned that, there are other children that they are very stubborn. Even you as a parent, you need to become more stubborn. Because you don't want to see your child being destroyed. You don't want to see a child going astray. You don't want the child to die you don't want to watch your child behind bars. Every parent wants to see their children become responsible men in the community, in the society. To become the children, you want to see the children that are going to be great people out there, that are going to encourage, that are going to add value to our nation. So as a parent, there is a need for you to do. I know there are children that will tell you, no, I cannot do this, I cannot. You must, like I have mentioned, if they refuse to do what you are telling them, don't give them food. If you refuse, like they used to do, if they refuse to go to church, if they refuse to do certain kind of thing, don't give them anything. I am telling you, don't give them anything. Let them know you do not like it. Don't even smile at them. Don't even respect their request, whatever they are requesting you for. Don't do it. It is a very important thing for you to behave in such a way as a parent. You need to be very hard on them. Not too hard that, because when you become too hard again, you are going to destroy them. But you must know, as you are training them, there is something that you are doing. There is a military training. When everyone goes to there is a training. There is a way that soldiers are trained. There's a way that policemen are trained. When they are in the training there, they make sure that you are trained to become someone who is very strong. Why training is important? Because training will sharpen your mind. It will make you to be active. It will make your mind is going to be very active. So when you are training a child, you see all those instructions to the training, they make sure that whenever they make a mistake, they beat them. It is not a bad thing. Yes, there are ordinary people there. They are being beaten there. Why? Because they are training them. They are removing something from them. So why is it important? You must ask yourself, so why do they go for training? It's because they want them to think like a soldier, to think like a policeman. It's a reason why you see that these policemen, they are very, 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 very what? Very sharp. Whenever they are doing their work, they do not fear anything. They pursue criminals with God. They do not fear. Why go? Why? Because when they were going to the training, they have trained them to be very brave. not to fear anything. They don't fear anything. Now imagine if a policeman, you are a policewoman, now you are scared. There are a lot of just the sound of a gunshot, they are scared. They are trained to hold the gun and to fire the gun. That sound, they are used to that sound. Now if you have never held the gun, you just hear the gunshot, you'll be very scared. So they are training them so that whatever comes, they are able to do what? To stand that thing and to fight it. So it is a reason why you must train your child. The instructor, they become very bad people. I am telling, ask anyone who has undergone that training. They will tell you to say, no. I think the training, it was very tough. And I have seen those people, when they come out from there, they become changed people. They become changed people and they become very tough. So as a parent, you are like that trainer. You need to train them. Make sure that you train them. Make sure that they are doing what you have told them to do. And there are certain things that you must teach them. I know nowadays what is happening. You find that a maid will be doing everything. How do you expect your child to learn how to cook if you are not giving them chance to cook? Teach them how to cook. Teach them how to do certain things. It is not everything that a maid will be doing. You need to teach them to say, this time you are going to cook. This time you are going to do this. Tell them, and if they are boys, tell them to say, no, you are going to do the gardening. Let the garden boy teach you how to do the work. Let them learn how to do it. It is part of training. Don't let them just be sitting around, lazing around. And you are saying that, no, it's a reason why I've worked so hard. I wanted to give them so life. That soft life is killing them. That soft life, it is not good for them. I am telling you, there are a lot of things that happens. There are certain things that happens in life. There are certain situations that happen in life. Maybe your money can finish. You can die today, God forbid. You can die today. And what is going to become of your children? How are they going to survive if they have never learned any work? Do you know how they are going to live? Do you know how they are going to experience life? Do you know how they are going to survive? Teach them like a soldier. Even if you die today, they have learned the handwork. They are able to work. They are able to work anywhere. The reason why we are seeing people stealing today, because they cannot cope up with the kind of life. They want to live the comfortable life they have been living all these years. So you must teach them. Let them learn. Let them go into. It's the reason why our parents, those old parents, they used to take their children to the village. And the grandmothers will be taking them to say, you are going to farm. They will give them, say, you are going to do this, this and that. They will give them work to do. And they will even tell, I've been to the village before. They will tell, say, if you are not going to do this work that we are giving you, you are not going to eat. And you have no choice but to do it. It's also part of training. Take them to the village. Let them know. Let them experience different kind of environment. Let them know that there is this kind of life. Don't just let them be lazing around to say, no, I have worked because I have to give them good life. You don't love them. You are destroying them. Training a child, you must teach them. Tell them to say there is life like this. There is this, and that. So it is very important. By so doing, you love your children and you are preparing their future to become great men and responsible men in future.
Yeah. So that saying that goes like, for a child to grow up, bringing up a child takes the whole community. Do you think that is still happening?
No, that is not happening. In our era, that is not happening. Because, what is happening today? People mind their own business. I am telling you, people mind their own business. And what I can say is that sometimes this is the response. Yes, it can be happening to some areas, but in our era, I am telling you, there are a lot of things that are happening. Now, you need to understand, like, there are other people that will be reporting to you, as I say, the child has done this. And you as a parent, you are not doing anything about it. The community will be able to see how your child is moving. They'll be able to see, oh, this is what is happening. This child does not respect. Because in those days, the reason why parents recommended wives of their children. Why? Because they'll able to see, they'll be able to hear, to say, no, that child behaves well. That child, they'll be able to see, if you have been standing with men on the Lord, if you have been doing certain kind of things. Why? Because they have access, they know to say that child, they'll recommend, that child has respect. That child has done this, this and that. That child is like this. Even jobs were being recommended to the way you are behaving. But nowadays, I'm telling you, children, but if they have closed their ears to their parent, they cannot listen to anyone in the community. Then you must make sure that what you are saying to them, they are able to listen. Whatever you are saying to them, if they cannot listen to you, they cannot listen when they go out there. If my parents bring a complaint to say your child did this, your child was doing like this, he was associating to the kind of friends, please, you need to lecture your child. I'm telling you, I'm going to be in trouble. Why? Because whether the report is true or it is false, whether I was just shaking hand with them, but if the report reaches my parents, they will deal with me. And I'll be running away from my friends. No, I love peace. I don't want to be in problems anymore. Why? Because I will remember, this is what they told me. 18 hours, you must be home. Let that time come, you must go back. You know that this time I need to go home. You'll be running. 18 hours, you are home. You are seated. You have already done, there's work to do. You do some work. If bathing, you do the bathing and all that. They find everyone in the sitting room. You are seated. Everyone, when my father comes, you find everyone is seated. But nowadays, everyone has freedom. Who come, who sleep out. I sleep to my friend's place. And you as a parent, you are just okay with it. I say, oh, it's fine. You are destroying them. You are not building them. You are destroying them. And the Bible says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can a righteous man do? So the foundation of your children is very important. You need to build that foundation. Invest in that foundation. Make sure that they are growing in the way of the Lord. And you shall reap the good fruits from your child.
Okay. So what word of advice do you have to the parents out there, maybe as we get to go from a Christian perspective?
Okay. I think what I can say is that as a parent, if your child, you need to do something about it. If your child has gotten hand, you need to pray. You need to find time and pray to God, because only God can change a person. You cannot change a child that has already, you did not invest so much when the child was just young. Sometimes pray to God to give you wisdom before you start training them. You cannot change anybody by just your words, I know. But by the grace of God, pray for them. You can hold their picture. If they are misbehaving, hold their picture, pray to God. The Bible says, whatever you ask in my name, I will give it to you. Whatever you ask in my name, I'm going to answer you. So you can pray for that child. You can pray. Commit them in the hands of the Lord. Commit them in the hands of the Lord. Let the Lord help you. As you are praying for those children of yours, I'm telling you, one day the Lord is going to answer you. You must continue lecturing them. Even if they are not listening to you, you must continue speaking. Because every word that you are speaking, to a child, it does not go in vain. It is always stuck in their mind. You must not get tired of them. You must continue. Because why? You don't want to see your child behind bars. You don't want to see your child dying in the hands of the police. You don't want to see your child you don't want to see your child in prostitution. You don't want to see a child in a very bad state. Their sickness and disease. Others, they have died with HIV. They have died with different kind of diseases. Why? Because we did not do our part to educate them. We did not do our part. We did not invest in our children. It is not only investing financially. We need to invest in wisdom. Teach them. Find time. Teach them. As you are teaching them, you are building them. You are putting something in them. And you must know, every word that you speak to a child, it does not go out. It remains inside. Even if a child rebels, that word is still there. They still remember what you told them. If you ask them, so what did I tell you? They'll be able to tell you, say, you told me not to do this. Then you must know that every word, it is inside of them. You must continue repeating the same word over and over. As you are doing so, you know that one day they will change. As you are also praying and committing them in the hands of the Lord is going to help you. The Lord answers our prayers and hears our cry each time you are praying. I'm praying for you to know that the Lord gives you the grace to teach them and to make sure that they grow in the way of the Lord. And you are seeing all these presidents, ministers, they are parents that were invested, they invested their finances, they invested their knowledge in them. It's a reason why they have become responsible people. They were once children like your children, but their parents, they invested more. They lectured them. They did this, and that, different kind of things. If you ask everyone that is great today, ask them about their background. They will tell you they've got a story to tell. To say, I was growing up like this. My parents was like this. Some of them, because of the hard life, they have learned good things in those hard life. They never stole from anybody. Why? Because their parent invested in them. So I am advising every parent out there, please invest knowledge in their children. Not only money, but you can invest them in wisdom, knowledge. And by so doing, I'm telling you, you are going to enjoy the harvest in your children. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming through to our breakfast show this
You are
morning.
most welcome. Thank you.
Right, so for your interactions, for your comments, your contributions, you can go straight to our Facebook page in the comment section. The Facebook page is QTV Zambia. We'll be back shortly on the other side.
All right, so the QTV Breakfast Show definitely continues this morning, and joining us today is Max Moe as we take a look at the recent statement that was widely shared on social media, and it concerns OSIDA's letter that they have written to the American Embassy, calling for the attention on a number of issues which they're terming abuse of governance systems and of course institutions in relation to the president and of course other officials as well. So they have written sanctions. They've said sanctions against President Hichilema and his group undermining democracy. So according to OSIDA, which is Civic Duty Association, or our Civic Duty Association, they are trying to register a number of things that they have noticed, according to them, that are not going well in the country. And of course, they're trying to attract the attention of the international community to take a look at things. For instance, one of the key things that they have highlighted is Police Inspector General Garfield Musamba. They have cited that the way he has actually been performing his function, he is undermining democracy of this country, as he is thwarting the democratic right of the opposition to meet, gather, and of course be able to provide checks and balances to the government. He also cited Jack Mwimbo, who is Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. They also spoke about a couple of things which they are not contented in the way Mr. Mwimbo is running things. Speaker of the National Assembly as well has been cited. Chief Justice Mumba Malila has been cited, and of course the Director of Public Prosecutions Gilbert Piri has been cited as well. The Electoral Commission of Zambia Chairperson Mwangala Zalomis has been cited, and President Hakainde Hichilema has also been cited. So now, what is this all about? Mark, let's begin by looking at
Yes.
What is this all about? Maybe you can start by reminding the general public first of all what OSIDA is all about.
Yeah, of course, this is a consortium of different interest groups and individuals, CSO in a way, civil society organization that just speaks on a number of issues that pertain to governance. And one of the things that you need to consider is that the biggest challenge, obviously, with the organization is that this particular group has been flip-flopping over time. They'll belong this side, they belong tomorrow on the other side, just like that. And even when they're doing those things, along the journey, they are beneficiaries of most of the activities that are associated with politics. You may wish to know that the signatory to that championed the removal of the Patriotic Front, if you recall. And for among other issues that he raised, one corruption. Secondly, a crackdown on political opponents, especially with reference to the arrest of HH, 127 days, and also issues associated with arrest of other political pundits on trumped-up charges. Okay, so one of the things that you need to also understand is the fact that the statement is a bit ill-informed on the pretext that it is a detraction to the recent publication by VDEM survey on Zambia being classified as among the top 3 world-class democratizing states, beating highly developed countries. We've not had such a record in a very long time. If at all we've had one, I have to check my records. I wish to mention at the same time that this said, it is important for me to underscore that the very specific issues, you just mentioned specific individuals. For example, you talk about Jack Mwimbu. It is under Jack Mwimbu that you have had, it's under Jack Mwimbu that you have had an improved police devoid of killing citizens who have done nothing, as it were that time, at the time of Nsamasama. Nsamasama is gone. Nsamasama is no more. Joseph Kaunda is gone. You are talking about Kasonde is gone. You're talking about Mapenzi Chiwulo gone. You're talking about many others gone. The nephew to former Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Mugala, gone, killed. These are persons that did not deserve to die. It is during that period that an organization like OSIDA should have first sought intervention from The Hague on crime against humanity. We have people that have lost their private parts through what looked like a state-sponsored terrorism. You had instances where markets could be set ablaze in order to get to the opposition. Opposition members were arrested and released without trial. We had Fresha Siwale situation. You saw what he went through. Where up to date, he alleges he was poisoned. When he shows you his nails, they look green to blue. They are cracking. And according to him, his testimony, which he has made clear on TV, one of the TV programs, that he was poisoned, and it was confirmed by his doctor. It is that time that institutions like OSIDA should have raised the red flag.
Let me make reference to.
I'm talking about the one name you mentioned.
Exactly.
I've just talked about the police.
Exactly, but I think the most important aspect on this list is President Hakainde Hichilema and why he has found himself on this particular list.
Yes.
So according to this list, it says if there is one person who deserves sanctions for undermining democracy and democratic rights in Zambia, is President Hakainde Hichilema. Not only is he the one responsible for the appointment of other democracy-threatening officials, he's called the others democracy-threatening officials like Grafa Msamba,
now you've gone through that list.
Muti, Malila, Zalomis.
That's why I wanted to.
He says President Hichilema has also aided. I think that's the most interesting part. Aided their conduct by neglecting to reprimand or sanction them for undermining civil and political rights.
Who is the complainant? There's a procedure for everything. OSIDA should have done what is within the law.
Complain?
Yes. For example,
we've seen the likes of Emmanuel Mamba.
I've not unpacked.
We've seen the likes of Emmanuel Mamba and Fred Membe complain about police attitude. For instance, this list also goes on to say, for example, the police, for example, has been used as a tool to suppress political opponents or arrest
you lose me because you're bringing new things. You lose me. I was trying to make a point that there is police complaints commission. Have they gone to complain there? Number one, because it is that process that allows for a tribunal to be set up for an individual to be removed. They are talking about the rule of law, but they are breaking the law. Number two, when you talk about the Chief Justice, there is the Judicial Complaints Commission. Where they're supposed to go? Why haven't they gone there? When you say HH is supposed to reprimand them, that is interference in the absence of a substantive matter brought to the president by the Judicial Complaints Commission. I don't know whether they know the procedure. The president, for example, cannot remove a judge by waking up in the morning. There should be a matter from the Judicial Complaints Commission, which does not also initiate a matter. Someone writes to them, and a tribunal is set up. When a person is found with a prima facie case that would warrant a removal, then they'll make a recommendation through the Chief Justice for the president to act. So you cannot talk about reprimanding the Chief Justice. It's total interference. There's separation of powers, which involves the executive. The chief executive is the president. The judiciary, the one on top, is Mumba Malira. The legislature is talking about Nelly Muti. Nelly Muti has brought sanity in parliament. You saw how MPs were misbehaving. MPs could get away with lawlessness, where they would go on the street and start beating up people during COVID. Ministers going there, and nothing could happen on the floor of parliament. She has brought sanity there. People will not misbehave. You have a situation where people are misbehaving. They will move, start walking around and telling off what they have been punished. Because those are the rules of the house, which are made by the parliamentarians themselves. When you want to believe that someone is trying to steal for democracy, you must demonstrate. The speaker is not a politician. When you form a political party and you are running an opposition, the speaker cannot contest it. She's not a litigant. When she's written a letter on a letterhead of the party, her job is to act on it. She can't leave parliament buildings, that chamber, to go and start looking for information from the political party. She can't do that. Her role ends within that the precincts of parliament. So if another party is aggrieved, their job is to contest the matter on the floor of parliament. And when they contest the matter on the floor of parliament, then the presiding officer will make a decision and they proceed. If they are dissatisfied, the law allows them to go to court for judicial review. All those are remedies available, which I'm explaining to you, which most of them are hesitant to use.
So, Mark, on the aspect.
Now I'm done with the legislature. Look at this, Nelson.
Exactly.
I'm done with the legislature.
But
I'm done with the police.
Exactly.
I'm done with the judiciary. So where else is remaining on the list?
On the aspect of OSIDA accusing President Hakainde Hichilema of negligence and, of course, aiding the conduct of the police, they have also given an example of the police being used to suppress political opponents or arrest government critics.
Now, here is the
In fact, the statement further goes on to say, Mr. Hichilema has praised Mr. Msamba's Halloween performance, publicly stating that he wished he had resurrected the latter, that is Mr. Msamba, from retirement much earlier. So according to them, they are not really happy with the way the police have been handling matters. Maybe I can make reference to probably the recent incident involving, PF Secretary General. When he was arrested, former president was there to see. You saw the fracas that was there earlier last year. I think it was last year or probably in 2022. We had two rallies that were suspended by the police. One involving Fred Membe in Kitwe, the other one involving Emmanuel Mambandi's team just here in Lusaka, Zingalume area. The police gave an excuse of not having enough manpower to provide security to the two events. But when the day of the two events came, more than 200 police officers went to cover the places where the two were supposed to take place. So those are some of the isolated incidents that we can cite at this particular time. So the question is, do you think this accusation of police being used to suppress political critics are not true?
Now, let me say this. I could have loved if you played a clip of 200 police officers so that citizens could see when they are watching TV that those are 200 officers. Unfortunately, maybe you and I will not be able to show them. So it is very difficult for me to act on something that we have not seen. Then secondly, may I say this? You've given an example of some rallies that may have been suspended. I'll give you a position which I've given before, that the people that you are complaining have been agitating overthrowing the government by way of asking citizens to rise up against a legitimate government, which is treason. I'm sure you are aware that one of the UKWA members, Edgar Lungu, is on record of talking about of agitating citizens to rise up. Now, when a group of people anywhere in the world issue such a statement, then notify the police to have a gathering, they will not give them. There is no country under the sun that will allow them to gather. In other words, they are not intelligent enough. They should have perhaps first given a notice without warning or agitating citizens. Because here is the problem, which arises from mobocracy, which is basically the mob, the rule of the mob. The moment you gather people, there is usually civil disobedience. There are many and uncontrollable. And as a leader, you've issued a statement. The situation may degenerate. When it degenerates and what people have been writing from their blogs themselves, then you have a situation where police will crash with the citizens, civilians, who may be their own supporters. Life is lost tomorrow. All those are things that can be avoided. I'll give you an example. They met in an alliance press conference, Fred Membe and others, where they were agitating and talking about if they have not given us the rights, we are going to give ourselves. Afterwards, they give a notice. They will not give them. If it were in West Africa, most of these people could have been arrested. They would have been jailed by now. They should thank God that they have a president who promised to restore the rule of law, that today they can even have a press conference. At their time, Nelson, they will unleash thugs with machetes to attack people that are having a press conference. That's what used to happen. You and I were at Taj Pamozo Hotel when a debate was disrupted by Tutu Ngurube and others, may so rest in peace, and PF cadres. They entered into a program that was live on TV. Sponsored thugs there. That's where we are coming from. Now, if they do not appreciate what their colleague is doing now, I've always said he's a human being. They should wait until one day he believes he's not helping the situation. He must behave the way they were behaving. This country will be too small for them. We were at Taj Pamoza when they attacked. Intercontinental. We were at Intercontinental. Prime TV was streaming live. There were debaters there on various motions, Sangwa and others. Thugs just came in and everybody scampered for their lives. That's how they were running the country. You can't see such things today. Honestly, you cannot encourage the president to proceed on the same trajectory and improve Zambia's political landscape. Because you can't see it because of your evil vested interest. The international community can see it. That's why the VDEM, Varieties Democracy Survey, which was conducted, has put Zambia among the top 3 world-class democratizing states in the world. This is why they are able to do all these things. They can issue statements, they can do anything. They can have a press conference, they can feature on all media houses, and they can be covered at their time. QTV could not even feature a person like Max Moore. It was impossible. Management here knows very well what they were scared of. I featured on QTV when there was change of government. You know yourself that. Media houses were scared of me featuring even Max Moore. Prime TV was closed. All those things have changed. Today, you can feature wherever you want. IBA will not write a letter to you questioning to see how many people you feature on your program. They will let you feature people. Today, they will be on Radio Phoenix. They will be Salavwe. Tomorrow, they will be Kalava. The other day, they will be a Fred Membe. Nobody will complain. That's what HH and his team have brought on Zambia's political landscape. How they have committed to improving the media space in the country. Someone wakes up and says you're doing wrong things. The international community which is conducting, they look at you and say, are these people normal? I'll give you another example. At your time, police were literally, we have never witnessed such a situation where live ammunitions were used within the precincts of the court. And Peter Masane has a bullet on his bums, up to date. In Zambia, they were unable to operate on him. They said it's too complex. Where the bullet in the pelvic is stuck. Was it necessary to use live ammunition in the court ground there. He was shot next to the entrance of the High Court. I was in the chamber when a matter of national interest was going on the presidential petition. Nelson, let me tell you, we had the counsel for the respondents representing the government then. One of them with people arriving with a gun in the chamber. It has never happened in the history of this country. You saw what was happening when a report on human rights was produced about Zambia. It was bad.
So currently, Mark, it looking at what this letter or
we haven't
this
talked about
so-called,
Mangala Zaromis.
well,
Electoral Commission of Zambia. Are you aware that now they are conducting continuous voter registration? This is a woman who who has made sure that what was happening then is not happening. They were registering infants as voters, foreigners. Nelson,
there are quite a number of issues.
Nelson, I'm saying, are you listening?
Here, yeah?
No, I'm reacting to this. I hear you.
I would want you to obviously probably create time probably for 411 so that we can definitely
very good. I like the way you've looked at it now. Look at the situation.
Yeah. Because other matters,
Nelson,
Mark,
look at this
other
one.
matters that these guys have brought in, they've brought in issues like they've brought in issues of dividing the country on ethnic regional lines.
Very good.
They've spoken about government key positions being given to or being made as a preserve of members of the ethnicity and adjacent tribes in the west, northwestern, and central provinces. They have talked about a page of government and state-owned enterprise of Zambians who hail from a particular region. So there are quite a number of things. These, they are saying it is President Hakainde Hichilema who is not taking charge in seeing how these appointments
go around the institutions in government. Where does the secretary to the cabinet come from?
In the 21st century, Mark.
I'm talking. Wait,
exactly. Let me ask.
You don't manipulate
in the 21st century, like today.
I'm talking. Let me finish. Where does secretary? Because they are saying keep position. Where does the secretary to the cabinet come from? Kangwa. Where does the commissioner for ZRA come from? Isn't it Eastern Province? Who is at the helm of CEC? Key ministerial positions, the most key ministerial positions. Look at them. The Northern Bloc, I want to diffuse this, have 9 ministers in the cabinet. There are about 22, 23 ministers. 9 ministers in the cabinet. Are you aware of that? Elvis Nkandu told you on a program, together with Chipoka Mulenga, that we have 9 ministers. It is the only area that has more ministers than any other part of the country. The president has the power to nominate 8 names into parliament. Are you aware that 50% of that number comes from the Northern Bloc? 50% of the number given to the president to nominate names into parliament comes from the Northern Bloc. What was the intention? The intention was that he knew that UPND in some provinces had no ministers, had no MPs. He needed to balance the cabinet because that's what he promised the citizens. They are not talking about the cabinet. It's balanced. Have you looked at how they are running the country themselves? Go to permanent secretaries. All the regions are represented. Ministers. Each province has a minister there. Go there. It is the first time after KK the country is running in this manner. Go to the recruitment process. They are not talking about it. Each province is getting an equal share.
So
if you check the names that are published there.
For you, Mark, you are calling this mere politicking?
Look, these are seeking attention.
What kind of attention are you looking at? Because this is a consortium. It's not a political party.
They are human beings. Aristotle once said all human beings are political animals. They have interests. These are voters. And their political interest is with the UKA. You've seen them meeting. Why don't they meet HH Sofil? He mentioned that the president is willing to host anybody if you have issues. They have been having meetings with Edgar Lungu. So what do you want to call them? And they take photos there. What do you want to call them? Some of them want to call themselves senior citizens. A senior citizen must be focusing on unifying the country and not dividing the country. The Changalas. A senior citizen who carries that title focuses on national unification. What are they going to show us? They're talking about, for example, IG. Where does he come from? First, when these people speak out, look at what they are doing. What is happening, let me tell you, Nelson. They ran the country down when it comes to apportioning position. What the new Donald administration has come to do is to strike a balance. In striking a balance, they have to undo what they did. What these people want is UPND government to keep the people that they left. Who does that? Then on the other side, they are having press conferences boasting that HH and his team have formed government, but we are still in control. Isn't that what they have been saying? They want to continue running institutions. That's why you heard the chief government spokesperson talking about smuggling of maize, talking about the opposition, because they were conniving with the people that they left in the system. You have heard people writing that we have kept those that were loyal to PF in the system for a very long time. Haven't you heard that? Now, what kind of human beings are they who would be out of government, but they still want to continue controlling institutions?
So now, Mark,
it is the
State House has
responded.
Yeah. State House has responded to OSIDA's, writings and, of course, the sanctions as well. And according to the statement from State House written by Clayson Hamasaka, who is communications specialist at State House, one, he's called the OSIDA as wishing for the wishing ill for the Zambian people. Secondly, he's exempted the signatory of the statement, who is Bishop Mpondo. He says we are exempting it. Why they're exempting it? He says, given the advanced age of the Archbishop, it's doubtful he would be so detailed and aware of the context and motives. We urge the authors of this letter to allow the Archbishop to rest and enjoy his retirement in peace. So they are doubting whether Archbishop was involved in the writing of that. But why use his credentials at the end of the letter if at all he's not in agreement with what was written?
Okay. You see, if you recall, there was an earlier statement that was released on homosexuality. And all of us knew that such statements were associated with the key propagandists in the PF who are well known. And the language is clear. For example, I know how Fred Membe writes. I know how Emmanuel Mamba writes. I know how that Edgar can't write. I know those people. Now, it is clear from what has been written that the language is the same. You only know people and where they belong when they open their mouth. You would know me where I belong when I open my mouth. Isn't that so? Unless I'm lying. When I open my mouth, you will know where I belong. When these people open their mouth, you know where they belong. And you judge them based on where they belong. Fair enough. Clayson Hamasaka has put it into perspective. What is the point there? The argument is that the sanctions they are calling for, okay, don't punish politicians. They'll have the money. Look at Zimbabwe. Is Mnangagwa suffering? He's not. Who is suffering? Zimbabweans are all over. For how long? It's about 20 years now. Citizens have fled. They are in Zambia, they are in Zimbabwe, Botswana, they are everywhere. This is what they are calling for. But they are calling for this. Meanwhile, covering criminals. They are illegal. You see, UPND has not even gone further in investigation, in ensuring that police investigate. UPND government. There is illegal Mukula export. You have not heard about it yet. Where police themselves were impounding trucks right in Shilanga. And there are videos everywhere. Nothing has been done yet. Gassing is not complete, as you think. Because one spokesperson, Here Amonga, the moment he announced that now we have arrested gassing suspects, immediately State House then demoted him through the appointing authority. And it took him to Luapula. How can State House at that time be upset with a police officer who says, we have arrested gassing suspects? What was their fear from the announcement? I need you to understand. They empowered thugs. The Muchemwas, you saw how they were battered in Sesheke. Then they fired Wakungu Mashapa. Because cadres were too strong. They are calling themselves Americans. It took the US Embassy to issue a statement on the manner in which they were abusing their own flag and uniform. Referring to the cadres. The US Embassy is on record. Then the government did not want to be told by anybody or advised by anybody. That is how now they started now terrorizing all the embassies. You are aware that the Cuban ambassador is on the record of having been deported from this country. American ambassador deported. Of course, they were hiding in so many things. Now, when that statement was released on homosexuality, you know how God is. The moment they were, that statement was damaged by the Holy See. I'm sure you're following me. The statement of homosexuality was damaged by the Holy See. Because the moment it's like they produced it today, on the following day they had the Pope acknowledging homosexuality. That's how it got damaged and all of them got confused. But this is what you do, and this is what happens when you don't mean well. Today, you can't see homosexuality being mentioned there. We want Archbishop Mpundu to mention homosexuality again. Because it was featuring in every statement. We want it again, Archbishop. And I'm glad that State House has carefully respected Archbishop Mpundu. That's how it should be. And in their view, they still know who could be behind such things. But even if they're right, they are also being insincere. Look at this, Nelson. On one hand, they are calling all these people imperialists. On the other hand, they are asking for assistance. What kind of human beings are they? Double dealing. You can't trust such people. One time they went and bugged in at the American embassy. You remember that group that went there? You see, those people, okay, that's okay. They will welcome you. On the following day, they are calling them names. Then on the other day, they are protesting against their own vice president from coming to this country. Now, those are human beings. They also think, they say, oh, these guys want us now because it fits them. When you want to visit their country, they are saying she should not come here. Then the same people issued a statement on homosexuality. They can no longer issue it. They are quiet now. Because the people that they were using have been caught napping on issues of homosexuality. They can't talk about it anymore. Now, these are things and questions that citizens must begin asking them. You talked about homosexuality. How come all of a sudden you have stopped talking about it? What has happened to you? Secondly, you said the US Vice President should not come here because she's coming to introduce homosexuality. When she came and she did not talk about homosexuality, then you started saying, why didn't she visit Edgar Lungu? And media houses were swimming along with the currents. So we can do better in terms of politics in this country and ensure that we take the interest of citizens first. The idea of Mwangala, let me wind up on this score. Nelson, they were registering foreigners, Malawans there. You saw videos. They were producing 10 voters' cards for an individual. All that criminality has not been captured yet. Tomorrow, when those people were doing those things are arrested, the OSIDA guys will go and say, this is abuse. Then how are you going to run the country? These people are fighting order. That's what Cresson is saying. Orderliness. They are fighting orderliness. They don't want orderliness. Secondly, they are fighting the rule of law, that whoever commits an offense must be arrested. Thirdly, they are fighting media freedom, which they are enjoying, that there is no media freedom. Journalists themselves should help the people they are featuring that by asking them questions that you are saying there is no media freedom. You are here at your time. We wouldn't have called you if you are in bad light with the government. The media must now begin reminding these people as they are featuring them that at your time you shut down this media house. The media, in some sections of the media, they are nursing a monster which would bounce back and squeeze them, and some of them close them and suspend their operating licenses for good. Nursing a monster in the room. And they are there, even saying there is no rule of law. Your president goes and removes the criminal defamation of the president from the constitution, from the laws, from the Penal Code Chapter 7 of the laws of Zambia. He's still a bad person. Because at your time you are using that law to stifle freedom of expression. This is a milestone. You can see it. And when you go to these institutions, you are writing to them that put sanctions. The first question they will ask you is that who has been killed? And none. Which politician has been killed and none? Which politician has been arrested? For what offense? Is there an offense? They are committing offenses on social media on their own. When they fail to debate, they are insulting. Insults under the laws of Zambia is an offense. Nelson, it is not freedom of expression.
Well, Mark, 411 will be coming back very, very soon. And Mark is going to be featuring so that we can definitely get to discuss this issue in detail and, of course, look at truly who are behind this statement and what could be the issues behind the so-called sanctions of, top government officials that have been cited in that particular article as well. Otherwise, you are watching the QTV Breakfast Show. Mark, thank you so much. For now, we take a very, very short break. We'll be back short.
One of Zambia's leading pioneer internet service provider, Zamnet, offers services like broadband fiber, fixed broadband wireless, data bundles, domain name registration, and hosting. Zamnet also offers bulk SMS system and web-based system. We also offer hosting solutions like web hosting, web development, and network design. For further details, email us on sales@zamnet.zm. Zamnet, nobody delivers IT better.
Welcome back to our QTV Breakfast Show. Of course, we are still talking about liver health right here on the Breakfast Show. So yesterday I did, just go through some signs and symptoms of a liver problem that a lot of people are having these days. I also did mention some of the things that you can actually do to keep your liver healthy. But we didn't go into details with talking about detoxing the liver, which we'll be focusing on today. I will be focusing on drinks that are able to detox your liver and also foods that can help in terms of liver health. Now, if you were present yesterday in our session for our health tips, then you definitely know that liver problem is actually a serious problem that obviously when you start seeing the signs and symptoms, you need to visit the doctor as soon as possible. And we also did mention that it can be caused by different things, either by excessive drinking of alcohol, also maybe lifestyle and certain infections that might be in your body. And also we did talk about the overuse of certain medicines or antibiotics in general. And so we also did mention that when it gets to a level, sometimes it can get to a level where the scarring is a little bit too much and the liver cannot contain it. So what it does is that it can only maintain, and so the body adapts to that. And when you get to a certain level, it cannot be cured, but it can only be managed, meaning that you need to change a lot of things in your lifestyle. Now, obviously, more and more people have been consuming drinks for liver detox. For people that know, and they're very, people are wise these days. There's social media, there's Google, where you can be able to access this information and do yourself a favor by obviously taking care of your health. So your liver obviously plays a vital role in keeping you healthy and alive, and of course it is essentially responsible for cleaning and filtering your blood from the digestive tract before flowing to the rest of the body. So it also metabolizes drugs and detoxifies chemicals. More than that, your lower secretes bile that help to digest fat and carry waste away. So those are just some of its many functions. That's why it is very crucial to keep it top shape, or to keep it very well. Cleansing and detoxifying can definitely help to protect your liver from disease and keep it healthy. So while the liver generally takes care of itself, there are certain foods and drinks that can help to maintain to help it maintain better and its health as well. So you might wonder, what drinks are exactly good for the liver? Well, I will list some drinks and of course just go into details of what some of these drinks can do. So we have lemon water, which is very good for liver detox. Lemon is always accessible like everywhere, so you can have a glass of lemon water early in the morning and you're good to go. There's ginger and lemon drink, grapefruit juice, turmeric tea, green tea, chamomile tea, oat tea, jujube fruit juice, peppermint tea, Schisandra berry tea, and coffee as well. Now, let's start with lemon water and how exactly it can help us. So, lemon water is very simple, as most people would think. Lemon water is just putting lemon in water and you're good to go. But it's very effective to drink and actually cleanse the liver. So it helps in purging the toxins out of your body or your blood, and this is why some people would actually have a running stomach when they take lemon and water. So you can either squeeze a fresh lemon in water or slice one and add them to your water container. So this drink works better when it's warm water, as colder drinks can shock your body and take heat from your digestive system to warm up. The second one that I'll talk about is the ginger and lemon drink. Now, if you want to level up your drink, add some ginger. Of course, it stimulates digestion, circulation, and sweating, allowing a better cleanse. It also has anti-inflammatory properties. So drinking this actually boosts your metabolism, relieves bloating, and even prevents sickness. So ginger and lemon drink is very, very effective. What you can do early in the morning, if you have a lot of time in your hands, early in the morning you can cut some ginger and boil it a bit, and then after it boils, like boiling ikamaningi vitabwaona noona it's now boiled at that level, and then you can add some lemon at the end. I don't like to add my lemon for it to boil because I just don't like boiled lemon. It just doesn't taste nice. There's just something about lemon in its natural form. So you can add lemon at the end so you can get that zing taste as well. Grapefruit juice. Now, obviously, a World Journal of Gastroenterology study says that grapefruit is among the helpful foods because it contains two primary antioxidants, which are naringin and naringenin. So that helps to reduce inflammation and protect the liver cells, saving the liver from injury. So these compounds can also reduce the buildup of fat in your liver and increase enzymes that burn fat. So these characteristics make grapefruit great for fighting non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now, there's this famous tea that a lot of people probably love, and it's actually the list of my favorite, which is turmeric tea. So turmeric tea is considered one of the best drinks for liver detox. Studies show that turmeric has properties that can decrease the key pro-inflammatory molecules that initiate, develop, or worsen disease like liver disease. There's also green tea, the famous green tea. Now, another study by the World Journal of Gastroenterology mentions how green tea may help in reducing overall fat content and fight against oxidative stress. In addition, it may also help to lessen the symptoms of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. But obviously, like we mentioned yesterday, for the alcoholic fatty liver disease, you have to completely cut off consuming alcohol. Chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is generally regarded as a drink to calm down the nerves and help to wind you down beforehand. However, it does have certain things like lactone that allows the liver to prepare the detoxification pathways. Additionally, this herb has also anti-inflammatory properties, those that help your body to deal with the intermediates of detoxification, which can obviously help the levels of inflammation in your body to go higher than usual. Now, obviously, one other thing that we can talk about is oat tea, as in OAT. Now, high in fiber, vitamins, and minerals, oats like jungle oats help with the digestion and are great for cleansing your liver and intestines. So that's why many consider oatmeal drink the perfect detox tea. It also helps to flush out toxins from the body. A study in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences found the beta glucans in oats help to reduce the amount of fat that is stored in mice livers. There's also the jujube fruit juice. Now, this one is native to South Asia, so you find it in a lot of Chinese stores like JCS. The jujube fruit has elements that aid in nourishing your liver blood, again needed for fat burning and detoxification. So this herb also calms the mind and eases stress levels, allowing you to get quality sleep. In turn, that helps your liver to function properly. So an overload liver also leads to improper digestion, which then affects the spleen, pancreas. But in Chinese medicine, the jujube herb helps to strengthen the spleen, pancreas. Now, there's also peppermint tea. Peppermint tea contains large quantities of essential oil content, namely menthol and menthone. So these help in the digestive process, especially if you have a hefty meal at night. Food stagnation may also be a sign of overeating, which can cause disturbed sleep. So peppermint also helps to overcome that. As a tea, it also aids the digestive process by helping your liver with its detoxification and digestion function. There's also the Skinzandra berry tree. Now, the Skinzandra berry tree is one of that is not talked about a lot, but it holds plenty of health benefits. When infused in hot water, these berries can also protect your liver from several harmful intermediates made through detoxification pathways. Plus, it's a nice fruity drink. You may enjoy drinking it because it's fruity. That's the goodness about fruity drinks. They are not as bad as herbal drinks that most people drink. So also studies found that this particular drink has elements like lignan content and also hyper protective capabilities. So this means that it can prevent damage to the liver. Additionally, this particular tea has berries that are said to have an adaptogenic function on the whole body that helps all the body processes function optimally without, of course, decreasing or increasing pathways out of the normal range. And then there is the famous coffee. Okay, so we all love coffee. Well, a lot of people do love coffee. So coffee may be good for the liver as it is said to protect against illnesses like fatty liver disease. In a 2014 study in the Journal of Clinical Gastrology, coffee influences other enzymes, giving it protective effects. More than that, the journal also mentions coffee seems to decrease fat buildup in the liver and decreases protective antioxidants. So coffee also has compounds that help liver enzymes get rid of cancer-causing substances. So obviously, taking care of your liver is one of the vital, because it's one of the vital organs in your body. It has over 500 functions, and it is responsible for essentially cleaning your blood. So that means that it needs to be in optimal condition to function properly. And the best way to clean your liver naturally is to consume healthy and cleansing food. So now, of course, if you are searching for a place to help and treat you, especially if it's challenging and a step to recovery, you need to see your doctor with immediate effect. Now, apart from those drinks that we just spoke about, you may not think about your liver as often, and that is quite normal because we're all human beings and it's a busy world. But you know that you need to take care of yourself for you to be healthy and for you to be productive. But of course, the liver deserves a standing ovation. So your liver is your body's second largest organ, and it serves as your body's natural filtration system. from helping to convert toxins into waste, and of course, just keeping your blood healthy and even helping to metabolize alcohol. So your liver performs over 500 tasks to keep your body in tip-top shape. You can imagine how bad that is. Now, your liver works hard for you, so you shouldn't neglect it in turn. You should do it a favor. Liver detoxification is essential for maintaining overall health, but if there's anything that you can do to also help cleanse your liver in terms of food, there's actually a lot of nice foods that you can eat that are very healthy. So while the internet is saturated with many different methods of staying at your best, it's actually very important to be wary of anything that claims it's a liver cleanse. Those don't exist, and there is no substantial scientific support for many things that claim to be a liver cleanse. So you can, however, make sure that your liver is in its best shape in every possible way to support its detox efforts. And as we covered, the liver is MVP for detoxifying itself, while there are lifestyle choices that will help to keep your liver in tip-top shape. Maintaining proper nutrition is at the top of the list. So now, when you talk about food, while there's strictly no such thing as a detox liver diet or food that will cleanse the liver, there's actually specific foods that can support your liver detox efforts. So if you're detoxing your liver, you also need to make sure that you are eating accordingly. So there's cruciferous vegetables. Now, when we talk about cruciferous vegetables, these include a number of vegetables. So when you are told as a child to eat your vegetables, of course, chances are at least a few of them were cruciferous vegetables. Obviously, we're just thinking about rape, cabbage, and whatever was being cooked. A diverse group that includes cabbage, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. Cruciferous vegetables are rich in nutrients, including vitamin C and K, and of course, carotenoids. They also contain compounds called indole 3, carbinol, and also sulforaphane that are well studied for specifically supporting liver health. In fact, clinical studies have found that indole 3 carbinol supports liver health and a healthy inflammatory response by helping to stimulate liver detoxifying enzymes to help flush out the toxins. There's also leafy greens. Oats are leafy greens like kale, spinach, and parsley, where are also on the menu when you are told to eat your vegetables. But hopefully, all of that choicing did some good, and they are now one of your healthy lifestyle staples. So leafy greens are natural, nutrient-dense vegetables that contain chlorophyll. What makes your leafy greens? Well, the greens, and also contain a variety of healthy vitamins and minerals in addition to strong antioxidant properties. Now, why is this important? Chlorophyll in an animal study was found to help enhance the liver's ability to detoxify. For nuts, it's time to go nuts. You go for the nuts. A clinical study of over 4,500 subjects found that the consumption of healthy nuts is quite helpful. A Mediterranean diet helped to maintain healthy insulin response, also healthy cholesterol, and even helped to maintain a healthy weight due in part of their high fiber and fatty acid content, while all of these nuts confer health benefits. So walnuts are among the most beneficial for liver health, as they are high in both omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, as well as polyphenol antioxidants. Plus, they are known for their neutral flavor, making them a great addition for salads as a quick snack. Olive oil. Now, olive oil, in addition to being a staple for Mediterranean diet, is also a great source of healthy fats and is known for promoting healthy liver enzyme. It's also liver protective due to its ability to fight oxidative stress, promote a healthy inflammatory response, and healthy insulin response. While it's great in salties, incorporating olive oil in meals like liver detox recipes is a great way to ensure that you are getting enough. Salmon, we have been talking about salmon for a very long time now. Of course, another staple of the Mediterranean diet that places emphasis on lean fats. Salmon is not only a great protein option, but it's also a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. And while fatty acids are known for their heart healthy profile, they have also positive effects on the liver as well. Across a meta-analysis of 18 studies, omega-3 intake was shown to support liver health. Just be mindful of how often you consume salmon in your diet, as fish and shellfish contain higher concentrations of mercury, a heavy metal that can impact your health. There's also berries. You can also be very, very liver healthy with proper nutrition as support, but you can also be very healthy and do some good for your liver. In the process, berries are high in flavonoids, which have been shown to, of course, promote healthy liver function and detoxification. In a 2021 study of about 2,700 adults, a positive correlation was found between high flavonoids intake and a healthy liver. For citrus fruits are known for being high in vitamin C and for their immune health benefits. But did you know that they also contain bioactive polyphenols that can help to support liver health? So these polyphenols can help to inhibit inflammation to promote liver health. The antioxidants in citrus can also help to protect against oxidative stress. Of course, last but not the least, purple sweet potatoes. Now, you may have you may be familiar rather with the vibrant orange of sweet potatoes, but have you heard of purple sweet potatoes? Well, turns out that they may be key in supporting healthy liver detox. Preclinical animal study found that the nutrients that are found in purple sweet potatoes help to fight oxidative stress in the liver and promoted healthy liver function. Also, in addition to that, you can also add on some beetroots, whole grains, as complex carbohydrates. Whole grains contain essential nutrients like zinc, B vitamins, fiber, and so on and so forth. There's also coffee that we did mention on the drinks. So those are some of the great foods that can actually help you to detox your liver, be it drinks, be it the food that you eat. So make sure that you get on that proper diet today. You can try it for the first time, even for a month, and see how it goes. If not for a month, you can try to skip the normal meals that you eat in a week and replace them with these great foods. As you get used, you can go for a week, a month, and then before you know it, you go for a year and for the rest of your life. For now, let's take a short break.
Hello viewers, my name is Daliso Emmanuel Chanda, but my friends call me Dek. Did you know that taking medicines for any other reason is abuse? There are many medicines getting abused today, so we will look at the side effects of abusing these medicines. One of the most abused medicines is a cough syrup containing codeine.
Hello, Mainza.
Yes, boy.
Dude, what are you doing with all these bottles of carbonated drinks?
But you don't know. We're going to make a special drink that we can take when we prepare for exams. Helps concentrate.
Really? Does it work?
Yes, it does. You want some?
Maybe. I don't know. Just a little?
Wait, Walia. Don't do it. Cough syrup is only supposed to be taken when you have a cough or flu, not as a drink. You are abusing the medicine. Abusing medicines will damage your liver. Even mixing it with carbonated drinks is even more dangerous. Please, don't take medicines if they are not prescribed to you by a doctor.
I didn't know it was dangerous. Thank you for informing us on the dangers of abusing medicines.
Boys and girls, do not use medicines which have not been prescribed to you by a doctor, parent, or guardian. Be cool. Don't do drugs.
for the best hospitality and serene environment, welcome to Chipata TV Lodge. We have spacious air-conditioned rooms, English breakfast, a well-stocked bar, and sumptuous meals for you to choose from. We also provide venue for your conferences or weddings. So next time you are in Chipata, think Chipata TV Lodge. Chipata TV Lodge.
Right, so we still continue with the QTV Breakfast Show, and with me on set, I do have a brilliant young man by the name of Kefas, and of course, he has been doing quite a lot when it comes to, informing people about what exactly is happening in the world of football. And of course, we have seen that football has grown in Zambia. Even with the females, it is doing quite well. And so obviously on a daily basis, we do need some updates here and there just to get acquainted with what's happening in the world of football. Now, good morning, Kefas. Welcome to the Breakfast Show today.
Good morning, and thank you for hosting me.
Yeah. How are you feeling this morning?
Well, very much okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you.
I'm okay. Now, obviously, recently we're just celebrating Youth Day. How did you celebrate your Youth Day?
Well, as a sports and football lover,
Mm-hmm.
I just spent the whole lot of the day at the grounds,
Mm-hmm.
watching some games,
Mm-hmm.
not just football, but
Yeah.
netball and some athletics.
Yeah.
Well,
So are you like,
which was
yeah.
very interesting, and I just loved it.
Are you like a football enthusiast that maybe each and every time that you're doing every day involves football?
Well, yeah, I'm a football enthusiast, but well, my dreams are to be a TV presenter,
Oh, nice.
most basically just a football reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Now tell us more about yourself, like your background, where did you go to school, how did you grow up, and things like that.
Well, as you said, my name is Akefa Singoni.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from a shanty compound within Lusaka, which is Chainda.
Mm.
Well, I had a privilege to start my education at the age of 5, which is not as popular
Yeah.
as it is now. I went to a local community school, which is our Rainbow House.
Mm-hmm.
It's a school which is it is an organization
Mhm.
which is sponsored by the people of Australia.
Okay.
I was selected, and that's how I started my grade 1 aside.
Mm-hmm.
I spent my primary school, which is grade 1 up to 7, at Rainbow House.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was rendered sponsorship to continue with my secondary school at Charleston Secondary,
Mm-hmm.
where I did my grade 8 up to grade 12.
Yeah.
Well, I recently completed last year.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So now, how did you become a football enthusiast? Have you always loved football? When did this interest start?
I think I played football before,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I wasn't that good. So I just said, for me to stay in the football line, what should I do? That's how I got interest. Started writing about football. Just staying with groups who really love football, and continually I developed some interest.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was inspired by the great Zambian commentator, Mr. Mbatimba Nkonje,
Mm-hmm.
who is very popular in Zambia
Yes.
as far as football commentating is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my mentors,
Mm-hmm.
and he just used to push me, mentor me on how to come up with articles,
Mm-hmm.
give me sources of information where I
Mhm.
can get my information as far as blogging and writing more updates as football is concerned.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how did you go about that? When you were inspired for you to actually start a page, was it easy for you? Because I've seen your page is growing on Facebook.
I think starting a page wasn't easy. I was motivated to start this page by a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
because I started this page in grade 11,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't very serious until one of my friends told me that as long as you keep updating people, you keep posting on your social media platforms, you can earn yourself a platform where people can know that you also do football writings. Well, I think I was encouraged by many people, as I said, and the interest just continued and continued. Though some other times I started and paused a bit, just to balance it up with school.
Yeah.
I just had to do a bit of blogging. Then at some point I stopped, then continue with school. Well, the journey has been very hard because in most cases we are threatened by football supporters.
Okay.
And also football experts.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
For instance, let me get a practical example. For instance, I write a story about. I give an example of any club. I write a story about Red Devils Football Club. Well, maybe there was something that happened which they didn't want people to know.
Yeah.
Then I dig and find updates about that same story. Then I try to write something about it so that people can know. That leads up to.
So have you ever found yourself in an incident like that?
Many times.
What is your page is just growing?
Yes. Many times before I've been threatened by people.
Okay, so did you take down the post? What exactly transpired?
As I said, something happened and they decided to hide it. Yes. And we communicate with different people and just someone brings up a story to saying, no, this and that happened, and you just got inspired to inform people what really happened. And if you get to write the story, just after some time, just maybe 3 minutes after the story, you just receive a call from someone. Who told you to write the story? Where did you get the information? We can see, we can sue you if you want to.
Wow. And
those are the problems that we face as bloggers. And also the issue of transporting, as far as walking from home to the stadiums. To watch football is not for free. It's something they charge. So getting in the stadiums and also in terms of data.
Yeah.
Yes.
So would you want to collaborate with maybe any organization going forward, so that maybe if there's a game, you are the first to know, they give you a ticket and you go and watch and gather your first-hand information, because that's what you do.
Yes.
First-hand information, yeah?
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying to send applications to different organizations who can come on board and partner with me in bringing people closer to the game.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll be excited to of course partner with QTV and bring them updates as far as football is concerned.
Definitely, that would be a good idea. So now you've mentioned how you gather your stories, but have you ever, maybe you're not present at the stadium, there's a story and then it comes out that it's not true, and maybe you have to take it down?
We emphasize sometimes if I don't have much information on a story, we emphasize to be a rumor.
Okay.
Yes, we say to be a rumor, and I tend to dig more so that I can get the factual information so that I can update people on the same story. So it's all about having a story. Then we don't just post a story then stop it. We post, after posting, we get to dig more about the same story so that we can give people what the real thing about the story is.
Okay. So now, any other challenges that you are facing being a sports blogger?
Other challenges first as sports bloggers are we're not given an opportunity to express ourselves. I'll give a practical example. Zambia national team is playing. Before the match, there's always a press briefing. Then that press briefing, FAS does not invite any media.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it is something that is open for everyone. Everyone can go that side and ask the coaches and the other players what's happening. But in other circumstances, FAS has not been giving us what we call FAS accredited journalist cards, which we can use to access when going into the stadiums and maybe going out to interview or talk to a certain team.
So in short, for maybe the VIP entrance for people to get footage and whatnot is only accredited to these big media houses and not bloggers.
Not really bloggers.
Okay.
Well, some are accredited by FAS, but not many. Not many are accredited, but not just some are accredited.
Okay. So maybe let's also give you a chance to, just update us with what's happening in the world of football.
Oh, thank you. In the world of football right now, Zambia was selected to be part of the 4 Nations tournament that will be hosted by Malawi. The tournament will kickstart on Saturday on the 25th of March 2024. Zambia national team coach Mr. Avram Grant summoned a 24-man squad, provisional squad, which consisted of Patson Daka, Yamikan Gordon Mashata, Budo Mutale, and the rest of the squad. Fashion Sakala, who is missing and has brought up a lot of questioning by the soccer fans who are saying to why Fashion Sakala was left out. Not only Fashion Sakala, but Kelvin Mwangakampamba, Kelvin Kapumbu, Rodrick Kawe, and some have been left in the squad. Well, we're looking for a great tournament. As Mr. Avram Grant said, he did not leave the other players because of low performances, but rather he wants to test some other players. In the squad, we have new faces like the ones I've mentioned, Yamkan Gordon Mashata, Joshua Budo Mutale, Obino Chisala, Abraham Siankobo, who are very, very, if we rate them in their past 6 games performances, I think I would give them a 10 out of 10. And we're looking forward to see if they would really impress the coach and earn themselves a slot, a permanent slot in the national team. Well, also in the women's football, we had some games which were played yesterday. A number of games were played, quite interesting fixtures as we saw on Zanago Football Club, who walked victorious on a 1-0 thriller. Also, we also had some games in football which consisted of the the Division 1 Lusaka League, where China Bombers Football Club were up against Kuku Dynamos. The match ended in a 2-0 in favor of China Bombers. Many updates are here, but these were just a few of the updates that I have.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. So where do you plan to take your career in blogging about football? Where do you see yourself in the near future?
I think I'll be the next Zambian Fabrizio Romano. We have one of the most popular blogger, who is Fabrizio Romano. He's followed by almost everyone, and of course, I can say females. Females are very worried because men believe Fabrizio more than they believe in the wives.
Oh wow!
He's totally awesome. Well, I think I'll be the Zambian Fabrizio, and also I think my dream has always to become a presenter and a reporter. Hopefully, in the near future, I'll be one, and looking forward to that.
Definitely, we can't wait to see that. Thank you so much, Kefas, for coming through to our QTV breakfast show this morning.
Thank you very much.
And maybe just give the people your social media handles so that they can follow you.
Well, you can catch me on Facebook at Kefas Nguni 720, and also Twitter, and also Instagram. So my pages are all the same, Kefas Nguni 720. Yes, thank you.
All right. So we do continue with our QTV breakfast show, and unfortunately, this is where we get to end off our program today. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, we'll be back on Monday, same time, same place. Be sure to tune in, and for now, it is goodbye, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.